Today, I have the VP of Strategic Partnerships of Truecast.
What we can see is you can save spending $250, $300 to run someone out there.
What are the characteristics that make this different?
So the big thing is,
What are you seeing in the industry when a contractor has a callback?
one senior tech can be out in the office and oversee 5 different junior techs in the field.
How is AI correlating in all of this?
What AI does for us is
I'm excited to even implement it with our technicians.
you can have your senior guy on his GoPro talking through how to do it.
It's like the body cam for contractors.
Has Truecast been used in a court case yet?
Welcome to Beers with Contractors.
Tradies, man, it is another awesome day at Beers with Contractors. Terry, cheers to you, sir.
How you doing, Will?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. I mean, it's warm outside. I think we've had this conversation before. Like, I hate country music. I hate it when it's cold. But the second it gets warm, something instinctually happens in my head. And it's just like, hey, by the way, psychologically, you like country music now. And my wife hates it. She's like, it's nonstop, just bears and pickup trucks and dogs and hunting and all that stuff. And I love it. I love it. So, and actually, the more pandering the country is, the better. It's just, man, summer, I love warm weather. I don't know. When you and Carrie are working on your commercial properties, do you guys listen to music?
Yeah, we always have something playing in the background. I don't know what it is. Half the time it could be country. It could be like older rock. I just need some noise in the background to drown my brain out.
Yeah.
Need that manual task. Think like an ant.
That's funny. Well, speaking of just like weird things that guys do, I got to show you this hysterical video, and I hope I have his permission. If not, we're going to lose out on an awesome segment here. So you remember Corey that was on our podcast. So he sent a spoof commercial of his company in Charlotte, and I embarrassingly laughed way too hard at this for way too long on my back patio. But let me see here. I got to figure out how to share this, and then I'm going to share this little window. Terry, can you see this?
I can.
Yeah, okay. So you are going to laugh so hard at this.
Hey, you stupid motherfucker. You're not calling us for your crawl space and basement needs. You probably don't know if your aunt has or not, and she may not even be your aunt. Give us a call if you need help with your crawl space needs, 704-813-9554. And if you don't need help, just take your crawl space, shove it up your ass. Have a good day.
Is that not the funniest thing you have ever seen from a crawl space contractor?
You know that would work if that he needs to put that out, because that would get so many people to actually sit down and pay attention.
Oh, gosh. I laughed too hard. And one of the reasons I think I laughed too hard is because I have felt that, and I've felt wanting to say that to customers before. And it's like, you know what? You touched my heart, Corey. You showed me that, man, you can express your feelings, exactly what you want to say, but you have to put it in a parody.
Yeah.
So then that way, you know, you don't want to get Karen called on you, and then you got the cancel culture coming.
I guarantee you he's going to be 5 Mile famous if that hits some airwaves.
Dude, it was just so funny. I laughed way too hard at that. Embarrassingly enough, Sydney was just like, are you okay? Like, I was like out of breath laughing. Like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So, but anyway, sorry. Long, cold start today, Terry. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Trying to get to our new subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. You know, I can't pronounce some of these this week, though. It's Kawahi Parker Ruiz, who was on our show.
Okay.
Subscribe. Look at that. Irving S., Tony321, Lucky Stone, JFS, Macro, and Cody Shield. Thank you guys for subscribing. There's a ton more, but that'll make it an even longer cold start. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe. Also, check out our store. I spoke at 2 conferences this week. Everybody was asking about my Contractors Kick-Ass shirts. Yes, there is a store for that. Yes, it does support our nonprofit, our Construct 9 Future Camp for Kids.
Yep.
So get on there and buy some swag. So anyway, Terry, are you ready to get into some technology today?
No, I need another beer, but I'm getting there.
All right, that's all right. I mean, you still have the Nokia phone with Snake on it, right?
Yep. Love the brick.
Yeah. Well, we're going to bring you into 2025 today. So I met these guys actually several weeks ago. I was totally blown away by their product. Well, I mean, it's easy to just like in the internet and social media, you get kind of caught up in this rabbit hole of products that benefit contractors, but honestly, it's just like they're just buying clicks and they're trying to get you to buy their product when really they don't really have the core set. And man, when I saw this, I was like, this is awesome. So our guest today actually began his career in advertising sales before moving into real estate. He started a company with his dad and brother called New Growth. This was back in '07. And as we all know, '07 was a great time to start a business, right?
Yep.
And then '08 was even better, hence the sarcasm. But, actually worked and had a lot of success even through that in sales and marketing. And that's where he developed kind of a passion for software sales. And Truecast started off as a client. That's our guest is the VP of Truecast.
Okay.
And they were doing market research, and the KPIs just blew his mind. That's what caused him to dive in because of the innovation that was going on with this. So today I have the VP of Strategic Partnerships of Truecast. It's starting to disrupt the industry and some new technology specific for us blue-collar contractors, guys. So, Jeff, welcome to the podcast, my man.
Welcome.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Thank you,
Yeah.
Will. Thank you, Terry.
Oh.
Thanks for having me on.
What is that, like Guinness or something that you're sipping on?
Yes, sir. Yes.
We're going to see him chewing his beer halfway through this.
I would need a nap, boy. Hey, that's like 1,200 calories. And I know there's people out there listening who'd be like, "What a weirdo!" Well, come on, grow up, Will. But anyway, I like my silver bullets. We're fine. But yeah. So Jeff, I got to see your product. I love it. I think it's cool. We're going to take a deep dive. But also, you guys have like a lot of data that you've procured from this that I think, even by hearing this, will help some of our listeners. So let's just take a step into Truecast.pro. Like, what is it? Where did it start? Because it didn't start for contractors, I believe. And then, like, take us through a brief history.
Yeah. So it actually started within Nationwide Financial, of all places. So to end up with Contractors is an interesting story. It originally replaced, so it's instant screen and video sharing. It's device agnostic. You don't need to download any apps. They replaced GoToMeeting for their customer service team. Because you could imagine, if you got a question about a DocuSign or any insurance or financial policy and you call the 1-800 number and you want to review a document, you're not going to download GoToMeeting or some type of Zoom or something like that while you're live on a call. So they needed a technology where they could instantly make that connection, either through a text message, an email, or they could go to True.live and put in a 5-digit code and they're instantly screen sharing, reviewing documents. So that's where it originally got started, was in Nationwide Financial.
Yeah. So who was the one that said, "Hey, by the way, we're going to start using this for the trade"?
Well, it's interesting. So,
Hey, what? So who said, "Hey, let's go to some of the most barbaric people in the industry and let's try to make it"? I'm kidding, by the way. I just love all the new technology coming in, and I think contractors today, like, adoption of technology is going through the roof. So I'm interested to see what boardroom meeting everybody's like, "Hey, by the way, here's the direction we're going now."
Right. Well, so our company, New Growth Solutions, is an outsourced business development marketing firm. People hire us to hunt for them, So a lot of those are startup companies that do not have any sales assets and they're looking for a professional partner. So we see a lot of startups, right? We actually just did a successful exit of a software company a couple of years ago in the insurance space. We were looking at, I'd say, 10 different organizations, and Rich was one of them. Truecast was a client. And we were doing market research at the time. Part of the thing that we do in a market research program is to test different markets, So we want to go out, look at different buyer personas and markets, test messaging, and really just get a feel for, is there any other places that we could play in that this type of technology would make sense? Since we were in insurance, we're like, man, this guy's already got Nationwide. We're from Columbus, Ohio. Nationwide's and a couple of people have probably heard of it. So we're like, most startups don't have clients like that right out of the gate. So that's what it initially got my attention. But I will admit, when I first saw it, I'm like, I didn't really get the value of it at first, because I'm like, how's this different from FaceTime, all these different things. But once I dug into it and we did market research, now, of course, home services is growing tremendously. And, we tested multiple markets, and the KPIs that we saw within home services and contractors were through the roof. So that really what got us into it initially. And then after we started getting clients, it kind of grew from there, customizing towards their needs.
Well, and you, Jeff, you just brought up like you asking how is it different than FaceTime, but what are some of the characteristics that make this different and make it better?
Yeah, exactly. So the big thing is when it's device agnostic. Okay. So the first use case is if you're a consumer and you're calling a customer service or you're calling a contractor or HVAC or plumber or whoever it is, you're not calling somebody's cell phone, you're calling the 1-800 number, you're calling in. You're not going to be able to FaceTime somebody when you do that. And it could be on any type of device as well. You could have a Samsung, Apple, whatever. So to be able to connect instantly like that, that's the big thing from consumer to business. Then beyond that, we've added intelligent camera tools and AI and all these different features where you can record video, screen share, and capture all that information, but then send that in directly into your CRM system. So there's a lot of ways that we're able to streamline people's workflows and just their day-to-day, and just, beyond getting that, type of information, just make their jobs easier and quicker.
Yeah. So I know this seems like such a broad stroke of the brush, Jeff, but essentially to define Truecast Pro, it is a all-in-one communications product to allow a contractor, customers, and employees to communicate with a video interface that doesn't need to download any type of fancy software and things like that. Is that what it is?
Yeah. And I mean, it's super easy to use, right? So I often think of my mother, God bless her, but I mean, she has no technology, but the woman knows how to send text messages to me and her grandkids, and she can use her phone. She doesn't even have the internet or maybe even a television in her house, but everyone's familiar with the interface on your phone. Right. So it's very easy to communicate that way. And it makes it super easy to connect.
Yeah.
So Jeff, like I was driving into work today and I heard a commercial for a home service provider, and what they were touting is get with them and they'll send you a link and they'll do a video inspection of your property, looking at the problem within a day. Is that basically what we're looking at, where it gives the home service provider the ability to connect with those clients and see what they're seeing and start that process of getting that job?
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely one use case. So the original use case that we brought into home services was to connect to the customer instantly and see what they're seeing. I mean, just think about today, when you call into a company, a lot of times you're in a dial by name. If you're calling customer service, they're going to send you overseas. You got to talk to a robot. This is like the exact opposite to win the business. Someone calls in with an issue and it's a client trying to describe a problem in their property or something that they need fixed that they know nothing about. So it's hard to describe. So to be able to go face to face with them instantly and see what they're trying to describe to you, one, it helps build a relationship, it helps build trust, it helps you quote it correctly. It also helps eliminate nuisance calls, jobs that you don't want to take or don't need to take.
And we're going to get into some of these notes and kind of numbers, true costs here in a second. But now that we're talking about this, because this was just blew my mind when we talked about it on our original meeting, that essentially the ROI from a customer that's communicating through Truecast when compared to just normal web leads, I can't remember the X ROI it was, but like it was out of this world because they were just converting at a higher rate rather than, oh, hang up. All right, I'm going to go to the next contractor. Hang up. I'm going to go to the next contractor. You're able to take and convert those. So take us through that process, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. So we believe it converts 10 to 15 times more than just, an email or some type of web lead that comes in, because you're actually able to start to build a relationship with the client, see exactly what they're seeing, and be able to, troubleshoot issues and avoid nuisance calls. There's a couple different things. Like we have an HVAC contractor, people will call in all the time because they have issues with their thermostat. Some of these thermostats, I can't even use them. I have to have my 13-year-old do it when I'm on vacation sometimes because I don't know how to, switch it from heat to cool. But, It's just like, do you want to run? You want to spend $250 or $300 to run a guy out to, put batteries in a thermostat, or, 80% of the time they just got to flip the breaker, So it could be simple issues like that where you only have so many runs in a day. You can't afford to send a guy out to flip a breaker or, change a battery or tell somebody how to use a new thermostat, right? So, what we can see is you can save spending $250, $300 to run someone out there. Truecast is only $25 a license for a month, so it gets you 10 licenses. It's pretty easy to ROI itself. And then also just estimating. I mean, sometimes we've had someone come in with called in for a second opinion, and, they were able to take a look, and through, their phone, seeing some issues with their ductwork that was actually a safety issue. And so they were able to identify that on the phone and build that relationship, and they ended up earning the business. So I just think it's, a lot easier. And, a lot of times the person answering the phone on your end isn't your most senior person that doesn't know everything. So a lot can be lost in communication there, So it's just a lot easier if you can get eyes on it.
So, one of the advantages over something like FaceTime is it's recording that conversation. It's making those notes that are going to go back in so that you can better assess, better estimate what that project's going to be, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So they have to give you permission, obviously. And then, you can take videos and pictures of whatever the issue or estimate or job might be, and then send that directly to your tech before they even go out to the site.
One thing that would be interesting, Jeff, is to look at and try and understand what is that value to that customer being like that first provider out onto site, in a sense, right? You're having a meaningful conversation. You're able to kind of talk to them about what the issues could be without even having to knock on that door, because you're already there, and you're able to do that relatively quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't carry everything on your truck all the time, So it's the more before you go out is definitely beneficial.
Yeah. So, Jeff, this is just kind of one aspect. From what I understand, like, it's easy to take a picture or FaceTime or something like that, but I think one thing, and let's just call it CYA, a little bit of the cover your ass that, why do I need to document things, right? Like, as a contractor, and of course now it's like, man, we got this massive freaking target on our back, so I can't remember the exact use case, but, contractors are using this also to help document things like data plates and job site walkthroughs and stuff like that. I mean, how are people using this now to kind of, CYA?
Yeah, so our clients ask for it, So I got a HVAC contractor. He's like, Jeff, look, my guys are every time they go into someone's house, they're supposed to write down the serial number on their HVAC and their sump pump, and they never do it. And when they do it, they fat finger it and they get it wrong, and it's just, I need a way for you guys just to take a picture of the data plate and then have AI translate that and on the spot, and then send that directly into our CRM system. So that's exactly what we did. A couple different ways they can use that, again, to what Terry was talking about. Before you go out, you're going to know what the client has if it's in your system. But also, if you think about, Train or Carrier, they come to them and they say, hey, we're going to run a 15% promotion this month off all Train equipment. Well, you can literally go into your CRM system, pull up every client you have that has a furnace over 10 years old, send them the promotion. And it's going to be super relevant to them, so it's a way to, one, be prepared, know what you're getting into, but two, also, markets people that are going to need new furnaces.
Yeah, there's a saying, I can't remember who told me, somebody wiser than myself, obviously. And Terry, don't make fun. Behave, Terry.
Long list there, Will.
Yeah, they were like, it was actually in a book, I think. I do read, Terry. They're coloring books, but give me a break. But anyway, yeah, it's like, use bullets, not cannonballs. And the concept is a business owner, and especially in construction, like, bullets are cheap, and you can start to dial it in. And when you get the target, like, then you want to use the expensive, like, throw a cannonball out there. And, that's what really surprised me, because at first we were talking about a product that helps with conversion. Now we're talking about a product that is actually helping in marketing. So it's weird, because it's kind of hitting every gear of the business. And, this is what really caught my brain is you guys have measured loss in callbacks, like the true cost of a callback. So what are you seeing in the industry when a contractor has a callback on what that's worth per hour?
Well, it's going to vary obviously by industry, right? But I've heard, and the one we quote a lot is about $250 to make, just to run somebody out there, every time you have to do that. So, by avoiding that, that's key. And there's a couple different ways that we attack that. We talked about one of them, just knowing what the client has. Another way to do that is everybody's going to have a whole crew. Not all of them are senior techs. Not everyone's, you got your senior guys that know everything in the business. They've been with you forever. And then you got junior techs in the field. They're learning, they're apprentices. They don't have the same knowledge. They're going to come across issues in the field that they're just not going to have the answer to. So instead of having to run somebody back out to the house, what we've done is, Truecast is obviously on your phone, but we've integrated with GoPro cameras that can sit on their chest so a junior tech, when they're out with the client, is able to, one senior tech can be out in the office and oversee 5 different junior techs in the field and literally click the button, go live on his GoPro, and he can be hands-free talking them through whatever situation's coming up. So it was something that was requested from our customers. It's not like we thought of this stuff. A lot of these innovations and, stuff that we've done comes directly from the clients and issues that they're seeing in the field. So, why that's good is obviously senior techs, you want to keep them. They know everything, but they're a lot more expensive than junior techs that are out there. So,
Well, and I want to come back to that. Terry, didn't I tell you before this? I was like, dude, it's like the body cam for contractors.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, let's go back. I can't underscore this enough because I love this, because I think we forget this. Like every time you send somebody out on something you cannot bill for, I mean, that's $250+ out of your pocket, just eroding, and they're not producing revenue for the company. So what do you say, Jeff, to the contractor that's like, well, that's bad customer service. If we've got a problem, we need to be out there.
Well, if you can resolve a client's issue without charging them anything, they're going to remember that. So one thing you could do is if you had, because a lot of these guys will have like preferred program where they're doing preventative maintenance. You could always say, hey, look, I'm going to solve this issue right now for you for free for the first time. But, the next time we're going to, charge you. But what you should do is be a part of my preventative maintenance strategy and pay me whatever it is. And we can do this for you at any time. We can handle these issues over the phone instead of having to send somebody out. But, do you really want to bill somebody $300 for changing a battery or flipping their breaker? It's
Right.
not,
Hey, now,
value.
wait, Terry, hold on. Actually, no, that would be in poor taste. But hey, look at the margins on that job.
But the other thing you got to think is opportunity loss, because a lot of the guys that I talk to, man, they're running so many deals a day. They can only run so many. We live in a big city, and if you missed out on a large job that's paying 10 to 20K or whatever it is, because you're doing a lot of these smaller jobs and you just couldn't get to them, because trust me, somebody else will get to them right away. So you got to think, if it's not just that, you could be losing out on a lot bigger jobs, messing with nuisance calls, which you just don't want to be doing. It's bad business.
Yeah.
Well, and you also get the chance to have those younger apprentices out there taking those calls. They can call into that senior tech, and they're going to learn as that senior tech's walking them through that process. So you're educating them on the job, and you're doing that with more apprentices than you would if you just paired them up.
Exactly, Terry. And you can even save those videos for common things that you come up with for training purposes and file those away.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
hold on real quick, Jeff. So we've been talking all customer facing with this, like, taking in customers, converting higher, getting better ROI, saving billable hours. But are you saying that customers use this internally too?
Oh yeah. They asked for it. Yeah. So think if you're going out on a job and one of your junior techs or whatever, you could send him the video of how to fix what he's going to go see before he even goes out there. And then when he's there, you can have your senior guy on his GoPro talking through how to do it. It was interesting how he explained it to me. He's like, think about when you go to the car, when you go to the dealership, you got to get your car serviced. When you pull in, you're talking to the service guy. You're not talking to the guy that's actually fixing your car. It's the sales guy. It's the service guy that comes out and explains everything to you. Then he drives your car back, and the tech fixes it. Well, his techs are costing that car dealership a lot more than what the service guys are. To tell you that. And the service guys, they know a lot, but they don't know everything. So it's kind of like that analogy made it stick with me a little bit, but just not everybody you have in the workforce. You're going to have churn, you're going to have turnover. A lot of your best guys, they don't want to go on these runs anymore. That's why I requested it.
And if it is a repeat problem and you have that data already saved, you can just go back in that file, see what it was the previous time, and see if it's a recurring issue, and it might lead in to a better understanding.
You're speaking my language now, Jeff. Like I am all about systems and processes. And it's funny. I was talking to somebody the other day. They were like, we have all of our systems and processes in this big binder, and it's great. And we had something similar. And then we did an employee survey and found out like 3 of our employees are dyslexic. That binder does not work. They can't read it.
Yeah.
And so when you're telling me that like these things can be documented in video format, and hopefully the guys are taking the GoPro and turning it off when they're going to the bathroom, right? But so when this is stored, how are people using this video data, and where the hell are they putting it in their process for systems and processes and SOPs?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, when we were at Nationwide, we started off with the integration into Salesforce, which is, huge CRM system. And then when we got into home services, we got into ServiceTitan. I don't know why it took me so long to say that.
Terry, what did Christian call that? Did Christian call it Service Titanic, I think, because it's so big.
Yeah, I don't know why it took me a second. I mean, ServiceTitan seems to be like the Salesforce of the home service industry. But look, we can send it anywhere that has an open API, okay? So unless you're in some type of system where it's closed off and we can't connect to it, we can put it wherever you want. We could put it in a Dropbox. We could send it to an email. We don't want to be in the data business. We don't want your data. We don't want anything with it. We're just sending it directly to wherever you want to go.
That's crazy. So, how is AI correlating in all of this, Jeff? I mean, where's it going with all of this stuff that you're pushing out? I mean, surely there's got to be some way to integrate, some way we can surplus that information. What are you seeing on the horizon? Like, what's in the future? Tradies, running your small business can be demanding. You got suppliers you got to work with. You're managing crews. Hell, you're chasing sales. It's a lot to take in. Listen, if you want to grow your business, you got to stop working in it and you got to start working on it. So that's where my friends at Foundation Rescue Supply come in. You're not just getting foundation repair products and waterproofing products and air quality control products. With their nationwide distribution, you're getting a partner who knows how to help you scale. And that's why I use them. The Foundation Rescue Supply team has industry knowledge that will help make your life easier. You get the tools, the trainings, the systems that you need to move the needle. You want your sales team to close more leads? Done, because they have the proven process for that. You need your crews to work smarter, not harder? Done. Their installation training will get you out there and rocking and rolling in the field. With Foundation Rescue Supply, you're not just buying materials here. You're buying a better business system that they have helped create. And you sell more, you install more, and you grow your team. So the bottom line is this: you get best industry pricing, you get field productivity on track, and you get more revenue out of everybody on your team. So this is your chance to step up, scale up, and thrive. If you are ready to make that happen, head to foundationrescuesupply.com, check out their catalog, and speak to my friends, their team, how you can take beyond the products with your company with Foundation Rescue Supply.
Yeah, so what AI does for us is, one, we talked about. So it's the data plate capture. So I take a picture of a data plate. AI will transcribe that for me. It'll give me the model number, the serial number, the type, if it's, has a refrigerant, any filters that's in it. If it's a manual, we'll really spit out every single thing that I need to know about whatever it is, and then send that directly into my CRM system, which is great. The other case that I like to, I think it's going to save a ton of time, is think about anybody that comes out to your house, right? For a half hour when they're done with the job, they go out to their truck and they're sitting in your driveway for 30 minutes, just typing it into the system or writing a report or whatever they do. Well, with AI, I can literally just say, you know, this is Jeff Tillar. I'm at Will's house on 1234 Main Street, inspected his furnace, you know, changed the fuse, changed the filter. He's happy, recommending that I come back out in August to check on things, you know, send, boom, directly into it, and it's done. It'll literally just bullet point it. So you don't have to type it, you know, all the things instead of me sitting for a half hour in your driveway, typing it up, you know, doing whatever else. I can literally just put it in and go.
Terry, you and I could have a lot of fun with this. Be like, so I'm over here at Terry's house. This son of a bitch, man. He didn't buy any beer this time. You know, he came to the studio late. He was bitching about the fact that I messed with his equipment in his office.
Yep.
And then boop, AI will transcribe it. And you know what it'll say? It'd be like, get over it, Will. Terry's a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the important thing to understand, Will, is as technology progresses, it's still going to understand you're an idiot at times. And that's going to clearly come through.
I think with as much content as I put out in the world, AI knows I'm a little below par. I think AI looks at it and they're like, yeah, he's got a low GPA, that one.
Yeah, it's going to be easy to take over with this guy.
Yeah, that's so funny. But no, so hold on. I got to rewind a little bit, Jeff. You're saying you can take a picture of a data plate using Truecast Pro, and it will pull up all of the data around the information on the data plate.
Yeah, it'll give you model number, serial number, who manufactured it, and then what's in it. Like if it has filters, it'll tell you the type of filters. If it needs refrigerant, you'll put that in. It has everything that you want to know about it instantly, and then you can take that, send it directly into that account wherever you want to keep it.
In like, if there's like a default on that product from, I don't know, I'm not an HVAC guy, but like recalls or well-known defects or things like that, it'll pull up stuff like that.
No, not yet.
Okay,
You
that
know,
would
but
be cool. Hey,
I had seen like links to the user manual and stuff like that. And I could show you an example, but yeah, I mean, it pulls it up instantly. So why is that important? It's just, you know, for the reasons that we explained, but also for construction, like contractors. I'm working with a very large construction firm. You know, they got hundreds of projects going on, and they're like, we just can't keep track of our equipment. You know, we got stuff all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like we don't know where it all is. So like they're going to use it to help, you know, keep track of where all their equipment is and all these job sites. So that's one use case. Another one would be for property management companies. You know, you got thousands of properties. Like, do you have any idea all your appliances, you know, all your HVACs and sump pumps that are in every single one of these? Like, you just bought 50 refrigerators last week. Like, where are they? Like, you have no clue. So it's a way to track all that stuff. So there's a lot of inventory management. Even with like, we're starting to develop, you know, might be a little early, but just parts, being able to manage, like, okay, scan the QR code. Yeah, you use this part. And now we need to order another one, that type of stuff. So,
well, Jeff, you were talking about how it's moving into a larger commercial contractor. A lot of them will do QA, QC processes on work that's been installed. Now, if you have the ability to document where it is, what it is, and how it's maybe tested when you're doing a QA, QC, and it's automatically generating those notes, that's going to be really valuable to a contractor down the road.
for sure. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, all those things are possibilities, you know, like we went live in home services in October, Will, as you know,
Yeah,
so we're
yep.
drinking from the fire hose, man. And there's
awesome.
all these different, you know, things that we can do with it that, you know, that is really exciting.
So, Jeff, so I was talking with a surveyor last week, and they're basically within the surveying industry, they have a lot of field techs out there in the field doing the physical work, taking the shots, and they're sending that data back to the office for the licensed surveyor to crunch and refine and tell them what needs to be done on site. If they're using your product, are they able to have all that information transcribed as they're taking those shots without writing anything down?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll bullet point it. And if they could speak Spanish too, it'll translate it. It's AI can speak any language, you know.
It's cool.
Yeah, because like the contractors too, man. I mean, think you're a project manager and you got multiple crews out in the field and they're bugging you all day. You know, you can't be everywhere. But one thing you could do is you could be like, hey, when you guys get out there, you know, I want you to take a video of what it looks like and then send it to me. And then when you're done at the end of the day, I want you to send me that video. And then if you got any questions, you Truecast me right now so I can see it, because I'm managing like 10 crews a day and I'm not going to, you know, be out there all day long. You know what I mean? So it's a way to help project managers, you know, manage their crews without having to be there on site all the time.
I have a bleeding heart for project managers and production managers alike. Because, dude, they are firefighters, man. They are like well-paid cat herders sometimes.
Right.
And a lot of times it's just because it's the volume of calls and texts, and especially in more complex trades like remodeling. Like, are you seeing that transcend over into the subcontracted world as well? Like, hey, you're my sub, you have to use this product. I mean, is that translating over?
Yeah. We are just scratching the surface on that. And, you know, the companies that we're working with, they are on the larger scale. So we're testing that out right now, but that's the reason they want it. And then also think for contractors, if I'm building a condo or a house and I'm the client and I'm not in the same city, like, show me what's been done over the last 2 months, you know?
Yep.
You're like, can you just walk through it for me so I don't have to travel down there and see what's going on? So it's a great way to communicate for a contractor or a builder with your customer to give them updates on how it's progressing. But also it's a great way for subcontractors to communicate with their contractor on a daily basis to show them the progress and any questions that they might have, you know, that arise.
Well, my expectation, Will, is, you know, you take a look at like your camera roll on your cell phone, and there's random pictures of projects or serial numbers or just things that like I need to remember this, right? And I'm not taking notes because I'm in the middle of something. I mean, now imagine having a transcript of all those stupid photos so you could actually remember what you need.
Isn't that the plight of the contractor, though? It's like, man, when I die, the wife goes to the phone to look through the reel to see if there's any other girls on there. But no, it's like houses, brickwork, masonry, HVAC, plumbing leak.
It's
job sites.
It's one of those things like, we have access to your camera roll and we'll release it unless you pay us something. Like, go ahead. I mean,
oh, dude, I tell you, it's like we screwed up, Terry, in the contracting world by not becoming like a job site picture redundancy data server, to just because we like to poke fun as well. Clearly, I'm a millennial. You're a millennial too, Terry.
Yeah, just on the very cusp.
Yeah, every millennial says that. I'm on the cusp. No, you're a millennial. Get over it. And we like to poke fun at all these young kids taking like 30 pictures at like just trying to get the perfect Instagram picture. Look at a contractor's phone, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, man.
Well, what's beautiful about Truecast is you won't have any of that stuff on your phone because you're just going to send it directly into wherever you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So it will connect to my phone, to an iPad, to a server, right? Or I can pull it all.
Yeah, we can send it wherever you want.
Oh, that would save so many hours of just like, scrolling through that picture roll, looking for that one photo of that one, cereal plate that somehow I need to know now.
Yeah. I mean, just from being on like the buy side as a consumer, if you're building something, I mean, communication is key, and if months go by and you have no idea, you can't see it, it can be frustrating. I mean, everybody knows these things take time and there's going to be setbacks. But if you're just able to stay in communication with somebody, and then of course questions come up, options, whatever. So being able to have that is, I think is a tremendous value add.
So Jeff, at some point this is going to happen. Has Truecast been used in a court case yet as Exhibit A?
No. Nothing like that has happened so far.
Yeah.
But then again, look, it's possible. I think, people are on their best behavior when the camera's on, and we're not on all the time. So the only time a tech will be turning on a Truecast is when they're, maybe that they need to call in a senior tech, or they're trying to do someone calls in and they're like, here's my issue, take a look at it. But they're giving you permission to look at it.
And first off, Terry and I are living proof that we're not on our best behavior when the cameras turn on. But no, like, I tell you what, like, it's one of those where if you end up getting Truecast used in a court case with a contractor and it ends up winning on the side of the contractor, that's huge. Because there's just so many laws around the country where they're leaning into always holding the contractor responsible and things like that. But boy, with this video technology and what you guys are doing at Truecast Pro, I think it's kick-ass. I think it's awesome. I think it's a game changer, especially with all the integrations you guys are building in, because everybody wants an all-in-one platform. They just don't exist, right? But anyway, so Jeff, we ask our guests on every show. Many people know me as a patron saint of screwing things up. And I say, well, if you're going to screw it up like a Texan. Make it so bad you could brag about it. What the screw up you had in your career, Jeff, that maybe you could share with our 4 listeners and, we can at least laugh about it?
Well, there's many. That's true. I mean, hopefully you learn from. It's better to learn when you win, but you definitely learn when you lose as well. I would say for sure my biggest one, my former life, I was in real estate for a while, was doing some real estate. And you had mentioned this when we started New Growth, it was in 2007. This was around that time. I had a couple investment properties that my dad specifically told me not to buy, that we were in a real estate bubble. I was going to lose it. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about, Dad, So I purchased 2 rental homes, and of course the market tanked and the values tanked, but I could have held on to them, but I realized that I'm not a very good landlord, property manager. I was in my 20s, so I epically failed, lost both homes, almost lost my main house, lost everything I had. And it was definitely a humbling experience, to say the least. But, when you're in your 20s, you just start over again, right?
Yep.
Yeah, better to fail at a young age. You should have done what Terry did. He's got rental properties. He had them burnt down. Just kidding, Terry. I know they
burnt down.
You'll have to listen. If you're wondering about that as a listener, Terry's got an episode a ways back that we talk about owning investment properties. And what you have, 2 houses burned down in a day?
No, just one. You go on a list and everything becomes harder after that.
Well, anyway, but everybody was okay. So nobody got hurt or anything like that. So Terry is a good landlord. So, well, Jeff, this is awesome. I'm a geek when it comes to new tech. But honestly, there's a lot of just over promoted tech out there. And I was really appreciative when I was introduced to you, because I was like, this is actually a cool product.
Thanks.
And how do people get a hold of you and the team there? Because I think it's something they should at least demo. Hell, the website kind of shows it all. But I mean, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so our website is truecast.pro. People can get in touch with me on LinkedIn or jtillar@truecast.io. But LinkedIn's always easy if you're on there, or just go to truecast.pro.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. We'll put a link in the show notes. I've seen it firsthand. It's pretty cool. I'm excited to even implement it with some of our technicians. I just see it just getting better and better. And it is funny. I'm just picturing those little harnesses, Terry, that you mount the GoPro on. I'm just going to have all my guys walking around looking like RoboCop. It'll be amazing.
Just with that, we could, any camera, we have them in drones and sewer cams. They have to be RTML compliant, or so I have to ask Chris so I can see that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
You can find one that you like that's comfortable.
I watch it. Carrie, in 1 year from now, we'll have Jeff back on, and they'll have like Truecast glasses where it's like beep beep.
Yep.
And then it's recording. And they went from software company to hardware company, and then they're taking over the world. Well, anyway, Jeff, I appreciate you so much being on the show today. Terry, appreciate you, my man.
Good to see you, Will.
Thanks,
good to see you,
Terry.
Jeff.
Just to be clear for everybody, including Drake, Terry is typically the beer replenisher. So I think we need to start keeping a scorecard here, because I think I owe for the next few refills. Next time it's on me. And we'll see. Let's see if I keep to my promise.
There's a lot of cost to being your friend, Will, and that's just one of them.
That's bad. We were talking about costs today, and I didn't realize I came at an expense. But anyway, to all you guys out there, we appreciate you, contractors. Thanks for listening to another episode of Beers with Contractors. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
See ya.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Beers with Contractors. We hope you enjoyed our chat as much as we did. Before we say our final goodbyes, a friendly reminder. Beers with Contractors encourages responsible drinking. If you choose to enjoy a beverage during our time together, please do so in moderation and only if you're of legal drinking age in your country or state. Furthermore, the advice and insights shared in this podcast are for informational purposes only. Always consult with professionals and experts in your field, and be sure to follow local laws and regulations regarding licensing and permits. We're here to help, entertain, and inspire, but your safety and compliance are important. So, as you head out into the world of construction and contracting, remember to build responsibly and make decisions that stand the test of time. Thanks for joining us today. We'll catch you on the next episode of Beers with Contractors. Until then, cheers to your success.